Hello, my name is Pamela McNabb Siebertson. I am the broker owner of Veranda Properties, and we're just creating a small video to try and help our realtor friends who find themselves in a position where their clients are asking about what their property may rent for. So we're just trying to come up with something very simple that you can do self-help in the MLS. So we are going to use a sample property of 11701 Poetry Drive, Orlando 32832. So what I start with is I go to the Orange County Property Appraiser, and I've already searched the property. And again, this is the 11701 Poetry Drive. And what we're looking for, the main information is we want to go ahead and write this down, the actual subdivision. And this is going to be under property features. So the subdivision, the year built, the beds, bathrooms, the floors, the living space, not the gross space. So the living is the under heat and air, which is what we want. And then we want to scroll down and see if there's any extra features such as a pool. That's that. So once you have that information, I go ahead and map the property in Google. So I've already pulled that up here. So I've just typed into Google the address of the property, and then I'm able to map it. I like to use, if at all possible, only the neighborhood that the property is located in. So what I do is I go ahead and compare where it's at in Google with where it's located in the MLS. So now I usually just put these two together side by side and go ahead and open the MLS. You can see I've already pulled it up, but what you want to do is go under search, then rentals, do a quick search, and then I'll just go ahead and back out to show you, and then map search. So I'll go ahead and start there with the map search. So I'm going to go back and find where my property is located. And let's see here. Okay. So as you can see, we have the property street here, Poetry. Okay. So we want to go ahead and back out. We want to kind of just use logic to see what may be the neighborhood. This looks like the entire neighborhood right here. This looks like a separate neighborhood. But what we'll go ahead and do first is we're going to map the area, like I said. And so go ahead and use this icon to draw the rectangle. And so we can get this entire piece. We're going to end up with a little bit more of an area than we care about, but we can filter that out. So we're just going to try and get this entire area here. Go back to criteria. I don't care so much about what's active, but I'll go ahead and take a look at that. I really care more about pending and leased. And it goes out 180 days. Try and shorten that a bit and see what's available. So I'm going to go to August 1st to October and say okay. And you can see we have 21 matches. So I think that's more than enough to get a quick comparison. So go ahead and hit on the results, and it's going to take you to the agent single line display. And this is where I start figuring out which ones we want to use. So we want to, I just go ahead and click on the subdivision. I'm going to click on it again to get Story Park to come up first. So I'm only going to interest myself in those properties that are actually in our neighborhood. I'm not going to care about the enclave, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to try and make it as close to the subject property as I can. So with what you've written down, ours again is a 4, 2.5. So we've got a couple 4 bedrooms here. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to just go ahead and filter that too this way. So we've got several 4s, and we want to keep them in Story Park. These may be in Story Park. They just may not have added them. So we can take a quick look. I also want to see and make sure that there's no pool because our property doesn't have a pool. I want to get as close as I can to this the year built and as close as I can to the square footage. It does make a difference. So our square footage for this property is pretty big at 3762. So what happens typically is the smaller the units, the higher price per square foot. So I'm really going to try and grab those that have a larger square footage. So even if I'm going to go into a 5 bedroom to have to do that, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's see what we've got. So let's go ahead and choose those that are the best. I don't have to worry about, none of these have a pool. These are still so much smaller than our subject property. So I'm going to look at this 3654 square foot. Since ours is 37, I'm going to go ahead and check mark that over here. And then I've got a 5.3, 3653. I'm going to go ahead and check that. And then let me see the largest four. They're just so small, but I'm going to go ahead and grab them. Not that they're actually small, but a lot smaller than our subject. So what we've got here is active, leased, leased, leased. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at them real quick. The active's been on the market for 22 days at 101 price per square foot. You can go through the pictures and make sure that it, compares to your property that you're trying to compare with. So let me go to the ones that are shaded real quick. That's when I know that it's the one I've chose. So this is $1.06 a square foot, rented last month, leased. Okay. I'm gonna go through again further. And we have another, so you can see there's a big difference in the price per square foot because it's so much smaller. It's hopped up to $1.25. I'm probably just going to get rid of those. It's misleading for your client. So let's just uncheck those two. And we'll just go ahead and I prefer to use pending and leased if at all possible, but since we only have one active and one leased, we'll go ahead and use them both. So you're just going to take the price per square foot like you would normally. So this one's $1.06 a square foot. And then as we said, the previous one that's active is $1.01 a square foot, and add those together. So $1.01, $1.06, add those two together, divided by 2 properties. That's an average of 103.5 times our square footage for the subject property, which again is 3762. That's about $38.95 per month. Then I like to go backwards and go back into this single line display to see if that price is reasonable. I'm going to click the rent price just to kind of get them to go in line, and then click it again. So it's bigger, so it is coming up more money. But when you see that all these other properties, there's only one that is actually less than the price that we came up with. So that's when I like to come up with a range. So if we're coming up with $38.95, let's usually do a range of $200 to $300 depending on how expensive the property is. So let's just give it a range of $36.95 to $38.95 and tell your client that that's reasonable. And the next thing that you can quickly do is just go down here and hit a quick CMA, and you can provide this to your client, and then you can give them the price range. And a range is always better than a specific amount because the market does change, and depending on supply and demand. So then you can just go ahead and download this or print it to PDF, however you would like to. And that's how you do a quick CMA. I hope that was helpful. Thanks. Have a great day.